The morning sun was rising over Seoul when Admiral Han Woo received the call that would change everything. His phone buzzed with an emergency alert from the Global Defense Network. The message was simple but terrifying. Unknown massive object. Detected in outer solar system. All senior commanders report immediately. Han Woo rushed to the underground command center beneath the city. The massive screen showed something that made his blood run cold. A ship, if it could be called that, hung in space beyond Mars. It was enormous, bigger than any city on Earth. The thing was black and silver, shaped like a giant diamond with strange lights running along its edges. "How long has it been there?" Han Woo asked the duty officer. "It appeared 12 hours ago, sir. No warning, no signal. It just showed up?" Captain Lee Nari arrived moments later, still in her flight suit from morning training. She was one of Earth's best pilots, known for her quick thinking and steady nerves. "Sir, my squadron is ready to launch. We can have fighters out there in 6 hours." Han Woo shook his head. "No, not yet. We need to understand what we're dealing with first." Dr. Park Hyon burst through the command center doors, his lab coat still on and his tablet in hand. "Admiral, the readings are incredible. That ship is using technology we've never seen. The energy signatures are off the charts." Before Han Woo could respond, every screen in the room flickered. A new signal was coming through, not from their satellites or radios, but from something else. The alien ship was talking to them. The screens showed words in perfect Korean, English, Chinese, and dozens of other languages. The message was the same in all of them. "People of Earth, you have been observed, you have been judged. You are now part of the Galactic Council's domain. Prepare to receive official contact." The room fell silent. Everyone stared at the screens, trying to process what they were seeing. First contact with aliens? Something humans had dreamed about for centuries was happening right now. Commander Kim Tae, the base's military strategist, was the first to speak. "Sir, we need to contact every world leader immediately. This is bigger than any one nation." Han Woo nodded. "Do it. Get everyone on the emergency line. Now?" Within an hour, presidents, prime ministers, and leaders from every major nation were connected through secure video links. The alien message was shared with all of them. The debate started immediately. Some wanted to welcome the aliens, others demanded military action, and many just sat in stunned silence. Then the alien ship sent another message. This time it wasn't just words on screens. A voice spoke in every language at once, somehow making itself understood by everyone who heard it. The voice was cold and mechanical, like a computer trying to sound important. "Greetings, humans of Earth. I am Velther, Prime Speaker of the Galactic Council. Your species has reached the minimum level of development required for membership. In galactic civilization, this is an honor few species achieve." The voice paused, and Han Woo felt a chill run down his spine. Something about the way it spoke made him think this wasn't going to be good news. "As a new member species, you must pay the newcomers tribute. This is standard procedure, followed by all species for the past 50,000 years. The tribute shows your commitment to galactic order and civilization." Ambassador Yunbora, who had joined the emergency session from the United Nations building, leaned forward. "What exactly does this tribute involve?" The alien voice continued as if it had heard her question. "The tribute requirements are as follows. 60% of your planet's rare minerals, including all deposits of gold, platinum, and rare earth elements. 40% of your agricultural output for the next century, and 100,000 of your species individuals for integration into galactic society." The silence that followed was deafening. Han Woo felt his hands clench into fists. They were talking about taking people, human beings, like they were just another resource. "These requirements are not negotiable," Velther continued. "They are based on careful calculation of your species' capabilities and needs. Compliance ensures your peaceful integration into galactic civilization. You have 30 of your planet's day cycles to prepare the tribute." The transmission ended, leaving the world's leaders staring at each other through their video screens. The President of the United States was the first to break the silence. "They're talking about slavery. They want to take our people and strip our planet bare. The Chinese premier nodded grimly. This is not membership. This is conquest disguised as invitation. Han Wu stood up, his military training taking over. We need more information, Dr. Park. Can you learn anything else about their technology? Dr. Park Hyon was already working on his tablet. I'm analyzing the energy readings from their ship. It's powerful, but there might be weaknesses. Give me time to study it. Captain Lee Nari stepped forward. Sir, request permission to take a stealth reconnaissance mission? We need to see what we're really dealing with. Han Wu considered this. It was risky, but they needed intelligence. Approved. Take your best people, but stay hidden. We can't afford to provoke them until we understand our options. Engineer Choi Min, who had been quiet until now, spoke up from his station. Admiral, I've been listening to their transmission. Signals, their technology is advanced, but it's not magic. There are patterns we can understand, maybe even copy. Over the next several hours, the world worked together like never before. Every nation shared intelligence, technology, and resources. The alien threat had done something that decades of diplomacy couldn't. It had united humanity completely. Dr. Park Hyen's analysis revealed something interesting. The alien ship is powerful, but its design is old. Very old. It's like they built it once and never improved it. Our technology is newer, more flexible. Captain Lee Nari returned from her reconnaissance mission with important news. The ship is huge, but most of it seems to be for show. The actual working parts are much smaller. And sir, I don't think they expected us to have space capabilities at all. They seemed surprised by our satellites. Ambassador Yun Bora had been studying the aliens' demands. The tribute they're asking for would destroy our civilization. We'd be reduced to a colony existing only to serve them. Han Wu looked around at his team, then at the screens showing world leaders. A decision was forming in his mind, a decision that would change everything. They said this tribute system has been in place for 50,000 years, he said slowly. That means every species in the galaxy has been forced to accept this. No one has ever said no. Commander Kim Tae nodded. That's probably why they're so confident. They've never faced real resistance. Han Wu stood up straight, his voice growing stronger. Then maybe it's time someone did. The alien ship waited in the darkness of space, its crew certain that the humans would comply like every other species before them. They had no idea that below, on the blue planet, humanity was preparing to do something that would shake the foundations of the galaxy. The tribute demand had been sent. The countdown had begun, but Earth's answer would be unlike anything the Galactic Council had ever heard. 24 hours had passed since the alien demand, and Admiral Han Wu had not slept. The underground command center buzzed with activity as teams worked around the clock. Coffee cups and food containers covered every surface, and the air hummed. With tension, Dr. Park Hyen looked up from his computer screens, his eyes red from exhaustion. Admiral, I've found something important. The alien signals aren't just communications, they're also data transfers. They're talking to someone else out there. Han Wu walked over to the science station. What kind of data? Records, reports, it looks like they're filing paperwork about us. Dr. Park pulled up a translation on his screen. Listen to this. Species. Designation human, planet Earth, Sol system. Standard tribute assessment complete. Compliance expected within normal parameters. No resistance anticipated. Captain Lee Nari, who had been studying star charts, laughed bitterly. No resistance anticipated. They really don't know us at all. Ambassador Yun Bora entered the command center with a thick folder of papers. She had been working with intelligence agencies around the world, gathering information about alien activities. Admiral, we've intercepted some interesting communications. The aliens have been watching us for decades, but they weren't the only ones watching. She spread photos and documents across the main table. Satellite images from the past 20 years show brief appearances of other ships, different designs, different technologies. We think there are other alien species who have been observing the observers. Engineer Choi Min looked up from his workstation where he was analyzing alien technology. That makes sense. If there's a galactic government, there must be different groups with different opinions. Commander Kim Tae had been unusually quiet, but now he stepped forward with a serious expression. Admiral, I need to share something with you. Something classified at the highest levels. Hung-woo nodded. Go ahead. For the past 15 years, we haven't just been developing better aircraft and missiles. We've been building something bigger. Project Deep Shield, a network of hidden military stations throughout the solar system. We have armed platforms near Mars, defensive systems around Earth's moon, and stealth ships that can operate in deep space. The room fell silent. Even Han-woo looked surprised. Kim Tae continued. The project started after we detected unusual activity in space. We knew something was coming eventually. We just didn't know what. Captain Lee Nari whistled softly. How many ships do we have? 47 combat vessels hidden in asteroid fields and behind moons. They're not as big as the alien ship, but they're fast and well-armed. More importantly, they're completely unknown to the aliens. Dr. Park Hyan was already pulling up new calculations. With that kind of firepower, we might actually have options. Ambassador Yoon Bora was studying her intelligence reports. We need to understand more about this Galactic Council. According to the data we've intercepted, it's not just one species in charge. It's a hierarchy system where older species control newer ones. She pulled out a diagram she had created. Look at this. The species at the top have been members for thousands of years. They don't pay tribute anymore, they collect it. The newer species are basically slaves working to support the older ones. Engineer Choi Min stood up suddenly. That's why their technology seemed familiar. It's not advanced, it's old and standardized. They stopped innovating because they didn't need to. They just used the same designs over and over. Han-woo was beginning to see the bigger picture. So if a species refuses to pay tribute, it's never happened before, Yoon Bora said. According to their records, every species has always complied. They've been using the same system for 50,000 years without any challenges. Dr. Park Hyan's computer beeped with an incoming signal. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission. It's not from the big alien ship, it's from somewhere else. The message appeared on screen, translated into Korean. Humans of Earth do not trust the Council's words. They speak of civilization, but they bring only chains. Some of us remember freedom, some of us want to help. The transmission ended as quickly as it had begun. Can you trace where it came from? Han-woo asked. Dr. Park shook his head. It was too short, and whoever sent it used advanced hiding technology. But it proves what we suspected. Not everyone in the galaxy supports this council. Captain Lee. Nari was studying the tactical displays. If we're going to resist, we need to be smart about it. Their ship is powerful, but it's alone. They probably expected us to surrender immediately. Commander Kim Tae nodded. Our hidden fleet gives us the element of surprise. They don't know we have space combat capability. Ambassador Yoon Bora looked worried. But what happens after we fight? Even if we win against this one ship, won't they send more? Maybe, Han-woo said. But maybe something else will happen. If we're the first species to refuse, other species might start asking questions. Why haven't we ever said no before? Engineer Choi Min had been working on something at his station. Admiral, I think I can give us another advantage. I've been analyzing their communication system. If I can crack their codes, we might be able to listen to their conversations with other council members. Do it, Han-woo ordered. Over the next 12 hours, the team made breakthrough after breakthrough. Choi Min cracked the alien communication system and discovered that the Council was already discussing Earth. More importantly, they found out that several other species were secretly questioning the tribute system. Dr. Park Hyan's analysis revealed that the alien ship's weapons were powerful but slow to target fast-moving objects. Captain Lee Nari's pilots developed new combat tactics specifically designed to exploit this weakness. Ambassador Yoon Bora established contact with resistance groups on other worlds. species that had been paying tribute for centuries but were tired of being slaves. As the deadline approached, Han Wu called his team together for a final meeting. In 18 hours, they expect our answer, he said. They expect us to load their ships with our resources and our people. They expect us to bow down like every other species has done for 50,000 years. He looked around at each of his team members. But we're not like other species. We're human. We've never been good at doing what we're told, especially when what we're told is wrong. Captain Li Nari smiled grimly. So what's the plan, Admiral? Han Wu walked to the main display, which showed the alien ship waiting in space. We're going to do something that's never been done before. We're going to tell the Galactic Council exactly what we think of their tribute system. Commander Kim Tae checked his watch. The Council ship is expecting a response in less than a day. What should we tell them? Han Wu's expression was determined. We tell them the truth. Earth doesn't negotiate with kidnappers. Earth doesn't pay tribute to bullies. And if they want to fight us for it, they're going to discover that humans are very good at fighting. The countdown continued, but now Earth was no longer counting toward surrender. They were counting toward the moment when humanity would stand up and show the galaxy what freedom looked like. The rebellion was about to begin. The Galactic Council station was enormous beyond imagination. Ambassador Yun Bora stared through the window of her small diplomatic shuttle as they approached the massive structure. It looked like a giant metal city floating in space with towers reaching in all directions and lights blinking like stars. First time seeing the Council station? Asked the pilot, a young officer named Lieutenant Park Jin. First time any human has seen it, Yun Bora replied. She carried a single briefcase. Inside were the documents that would change galactic history forever. Behind them, hidden in the darkness of space, Captain Li Nari waited with a small fleet of Earth's most advanced ships. They were invisible to the station's sensors, using new stealth technology that engineer Choi Min had developed. The plan was simple but dangerous. If the Council reacted badly to Earth's message, the hidden ships would be ready. The shuttle docked at the station's diplomatic bay. Alien beings of all shapes and sizes moved through the corridors. Some walked on 2 legs like humans, others crawled on many legs, and a few seemed to float without touching the ground. But Yun Bora noticed something troubling. Many of them looked afraid. Keeping their heads down and moving quickly, a tall reptilian creature approached her. Its skin was green and scaly, and its yellow eyes were cold. I am Velther Prime, Speaker of the Galactic Council. You are the human representative? I am Ambassador Yun Bora of Earth, she replied, standing straight and meeting his gaze. Good, the Council is eager to receive your tribute confirmation. This is merely a formality. All species comply with Council requirements. Yun Bora said nothing, but followed Velther through the station's corridors. She saw more alien species than she had ever imagined possible. Some had fur, others had feathers, and many had skin that changed colors. But they all had one thing in common: they looked defeated. The Council chamber was massive, with seats arranged in circles that rose up like a stadium. Hundreds of alien beings filled the seats, representing species from across the galaxy. At the center was a raised platform where the most important Council members sat. Velther led Yun Bora to the center of the chamber. Members of the Galactic Council, his voice boomed through speakers. The human representative has come to confirm Earth's tribute payment. This marks another successful integration into our galactic civilization. Scattered applause echoed through the chamber, but it sounded forced and tired. Velther turned to Yun Bora. Please confirm your species tribute: 60% of rare minerals, 40% of agricultural output, and 100,000 individuals for integration. Yun Bora opened her briefcase and pulled out a single sheet of paper. The chamber was completely silent as she began to read. To the Galactic Council, she began, her voice clear and strong. The people of Earth have carefully considered your tribute demands. After extensive discussion among all nations and peoples of our world, we have reached a unanimous decision. She paused and looked around the chamber. Every alien being was staring at her with complete attention. Earth refuses to pay tribute. The silence that followed was so complete that Unbora could hear her own heartbeat. Then, slowly, gasps and whispers began to spread through the chamber. Several alien beings stood up in their seats, pointing at her in shock. Valther's yellow eyes widened. Impossible! No species refuses council tribute. You must be mistaken. There is no mistake, Unbora continued reading. Earth recognizes no authority that we did not choose to accept. We did not ask to join your council. We did not agree to your laws. Therefore, we do not consider ourselves bound by your demands. The chamber erupted in chaos. Aliens were shouting in dozens of different languages, some standing and pointing at Unbora, others looking around in confusion and fear. An insectoid creature with sharp claws and multiple eyes scuttled forward. This was Crix, one of the council's most aggressive members. This is outrageous. The humans must be punished immediately. Send the fleet to their pathetic world and take what we demand. But another voice spoke from the high seats, ancient and powerful. This was Morden, an energy being that appeared as a shifting cloud of light. Wait, in 50,000 years, no species has ever refused tribute. Perhaps we should listen to their full statement. Unbora nodded gratefully and continued reading. Furthermore, Earth has evidence that your tribute system is not about civilization or integration. It is about exploitation and slavery. She pulled out photographs and documents from her briefcase. These are records we have intercepted from your own communications. They show that species pay tribute forever, never gaining the freedom and equality you promise. Newer species become slaves to older ones, generation after generation. The chamber's chaos grew louder. Many aliens were looking at each other with new understanding, as if hearing their own situation described for the first time. Valther's voice cut through the noise. Silence! The human speaks lies and poison. Our system has brought peace and order to the galaxy for millennia. Has it? Unbora asked. Or has it brought fear and oppression? Look around this chamber. How many of these representatives are truly free? How many are here because they choose to be, and how many are here because they have no choice? She could see that her words were having an effect. Some aliens were nodding slowly, others were whispering to their neighbors with growing excitement. The people of Earth offer an alternative, Unbora continued. We propose a new system based on voluntary cooperation, mutual benefit, and respect for all species. We invite any species that desires freedom to join us in building a better galaxy. Crix's claws scraped against the floor as he moved toward her. Enough of this madness! Guards, arrest the human. Prepare the punishment fleet. But before anyone could move, the chamber's main screen flickered to life. Captain Linari's face appeared, broadcasting from her hidden command ship. Council members, Linari said calmly. My name is Captain Linari of the Earth Defense Fleet. You should know that your station is currently surrounded by human warships. We are not here to attack, but to ensure our ambassador's safe return. The screen split to show dozens of Earth's ships decloaking around the station. They were smaller than council vessels, but they moved with deadly precision and purpose. Valther stared at the screen in disbelief. Impossible. Our intelligence report said humans had no significant space capability. Your intelligence was wrong, Linari replied. Just like your assumption that we would surrender without a fight. Morden's energy form pulsed with what might have been amusement. Fascinating. For the first time in 50,000 years, a species has not only refused tribute but demonstrated the ability to resist our authority. The Unbora closed her briefcase and stood tall. The choice is yours, council members. You can continue your old system of fear and exploitation, or you can join us in building something new. Something better. Crix was practically vibrating with rage. This is war. We will crush this insolent species. We will make an example of them that will terrify the galaxy for the next 50,000 years. But as he spoke, something unexpected happened. A small alien being in the back rows stood up. It was barely 3 feet tall, with blue fur and large, frightened eyes. What if, it said in a tiny voice, What if the humans are right? Other aliens began to stand, one by one. A few at first, then dozens, then hundreds. They said nothing, but their message was clear. They were tired of being afraid. Velther looked around the chamber with growing alarm. The system that had controlled the galaxy for millennia was cracking before his eyes. "This session is over," he declared. "The human will be escorted away, and the council will decide on appropriate punishment for this rebellion." But as Bora was led from the chamber, she could hear the whispers growing louder behind her. The word was spreading through alien languages she didn't understand, but its meaning was universal. Freedom. The refusal had been delivered. The challenge had been made. Now the galaxy would see if 50,000 years of oppression could be ended by one species brave enough to say no. 3 days after Ambassador Yunbora's return to Earth, the Council's punishment fleet arrived. Admiral Hanwu stood in the command center, watching the enemy ships appear on his screens. There were 500 of them, massive vessels that blotted out the stars. "My God," whispered Dr. Park Hyen, "they're enormous." Each Council ship was 10 times larger than Earth's biggest vessel. They moved slowly through space like giant metal whales, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. The lead ship was bigger than the rest, decorated with symbols that marked it as Krix's personal command vessel. Captain Lee Nari's voice crackled through the communications system from her fighter. "Admiral, they're moving into attack formation? It looks like they plan to surround Earth completely." Hanwu activated the emergency broadcast system. "All units, this is Admiral Hanwu. Today we fight not just for Earth, but for the right of all species to be free. Remember, we are faster and smarter than they are. Use that advantage." Commander Kim Tae was coordinating the defense from his station. "Sir, our hidden fleet is in position. The enemy still doesn't know about our Mars bases or the asteroid defense platforms." Engineer Choi Min looked up from his computer. "Admiral, I've been analyzing their ship movements. They're following a pattern, the same attack formation they've probably used for thousands of years. They're not expecting us to fight back effectively." The Council fleet's leader, Krix, sent a message to Earth. His insect-like face appeared on every screen, his multiple eyes glowing with anger. "Humans of Earth, your pathetic defiance ends now. Surrender immediately and your punishment will be merely severe. Continue to resist and we will destroy your entire world." Hanwu stepped forward to reply. "General Krix, this is Admiral Han Wu of Earth Defense Command. We have one message for you and your council. Earth does not surrender to bullies." Krix's mandibles clicked in rage. "Then you will die." All ships attacked. The space around Earth exploded into chaos. The Council ships opened fire with massive energy beams that could destroy mountains. But Earth's defenders were ready. Captain Lee Nari led the first wave of counterattack. Her fighters were tiny compared to the enemy ships, but they moved like lightning. "All pilots, remember your training. Hit and run tactics. Don't let them target you." The human ships darted between the huge Council vessels like angry wasps. Their weapons were smaller, but they were precise. Dr. Park Hyeon's analysis had been correct. The Council ships were powerful but slow to turn and track fast targets. From the hidden bases on Mars, Commander Kim Tae launched the second phase of the attack. Missile platforms that had been disguised as asteroids suddenly came alive, firing waves of advanced torpedoes at the enemy fleet. Direct hits on 3 Council ships, reported Lieutenant Park Jin from his monitoring station. "Their shields are down." Engineer Choi Min had prepared a special surprise. He had infected several Council ships with computer viruses during their approach, using the alien communication codes he had cracked. "Admiral, activating the sabotage protocols now." Across the enemy fleet, ships suddenly began losing power and spinning out of control. Their own systems were turning against them. Krix's voice roared across all frequencies. "Impossible! How do these primitives have such advanced tactics?" The battle raged for 6 hours. Earth lost 12 ships, but the Council fleet was devastated. Over 100 of their vessels were destroyed or disabled. The remaining ships began to retreat. "They're running." shouted Captain Lee Nari as she pursued a damaged Council cruiser, but Han Wu wasn't celebrating yet. Let them go. We've made our point, but this is just the beginning. They'll be back with more ships. As the surviving Council fleet limped away, from Earth, Admiral Han Wu addressed his exhausted crews. Today, humanity proved that freedom is worth fighting for. But our real work starts now. Dr. Park Hyon was already analyzing the captured Council technology. Admiral, the weapons and ships we've captured will help us understand their technology. Better, we can improve our own defenses. The victory at Earth sent shockwaves across the galaxy. For the first time in 50,000 years, a Council punishment fleet had been defeated. News of Earth's victory spread through the galaxy faster than Council ships could stop it. Ambassador Yunbora worked day and night from the diplomatic center, receiving secret messages from dozens of alien species. Admiral, she reported to Han Wu during their morning briefing, we're getting contact requests from over 40 different species. They all want to know the same thing. How did we win? Dr. Park Hyon had been working with alien resistance groups sharing human military technology through encrypted channels. The response has been incredible. Species that have been slaves for centuries are suddenly asking questions about freedom. On the world of Kepler 442b, a species called the Vex had been paying tribute for 3,000 years. Their leader, a being named Terval, sent a message to Earth. We have seen what you accomplished. Can you teach us to fight as well? Captain Lee Nari was leading training missions across the galaxy, secretly meeting with alien resistance groups. Her latest report was encouraging. The Vex have natural piloting abilities even better than humans. With our technology and their skills, they could have a powerful fleet within months. Engineer Choi Min was busy adapting human weapons for different alien species. Each species has different strengths, he explained to Han Wu. The Vex are excellent pilots, the Morok are brilliant engineers, and the Zephyrians can survive in space without ships, if we combine everyone's abilities. We create an unstoppable alliance, Han Wu finished, but the revolution wasn't without risks. Commander Kim Tae brought disturbing intelligence reports. Sir, the Council is mobilizing their largest military force in history. They're calling it the Final Solution Fleet, 10,000 ships from their most loyal species. The Council was also cracking down hard on member species. Velthor sent threatening messages across the galaxy. Any species found communicating with the human rebels will face immediate punishment. The tribute system has kept peace for 50,000 years. We will not let primitive terrorists destroy galactic civilization. Despite the threats, more species join the rebellion each day. The Free Species Coalition, as they began calling themselves, grew from humanity and a few allies to over 50 different species. Ambassador Yunbora established a new headquarters on a hidden space station built jointly by human and alien engineers. Every day we get stronger, she reported to Earth. But the Council is getting desperate. Desperate enemies are dangerous enemies. The Coalition's first major victory came at the Battle of Rigel Station. A Council tribute collection center was liberated by a combined force of humans, Vex, and 3 other species. The massive amounts of stolen resources were returned to their original worlds. Dr. Park Hyon made an important discovery while analyzing captured Council records. Admiral, I've found something incredible. The Council itself was originally a conquered species. They were enslaved by an even older empire, but they overthrew their masters and became the new oppressors. This information spread quickly through the Coalition. If the Council could once fight for freedom, why couldn't everyone else? Captain Lee Nari led the most daring mission yet, a raid on a Council ship construction facility. The Coalition destroyed dozens of new warships before they could be completed. Every ship we stop here is one less we have to fight later, she explained. Engineer Choi Min's greatest achievement was creating the Unified Communication Network, a system that allowed all Coalition species to coordinate their actions instantly across the galaxy. Now we can act as one force instead of scattered groups. The revolution reached its turning point when Elder Morden, The ancient energy being from the Council's highest ranks sent a secret message to the Coalition. "I have watched the galaxy for 100,000 years, his message said. "I have seen empires rise and fall. Your Coalition represents something I thought was lost forever: hope. Not all Council members support the current system. Some of us remember what freedom felt like." Hanwoo realized the implications immediately. If we have allies inside the Council itself, we might be able to end this war without destroying the entire galaxy. But first, they would have to survive the Council's final desperate attack. The Final Solution Fleet was the largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. 10,000 Council ships approached the Coalition's hidden headquarters, commanded by Velther himself. He was determined to crush the rebellion once and for all. Admiral Hanwoo stood on the bridge of the Coalition flagship, surrounded by representatives from 50 different species. The diversity was incredible: furry creatures, scaly reptiles, energy beings, and mechanical species all working together. "Admiral," reported Captain Lee Neri from her fighter squadron, "enemy fleet is approaching. They'll be in weapons range in 2 hours." Commander Kim Tae was coordinating the defense from the tactical center. "Sir, we have ships from every Coalition member species ready for battle. Total count, 3,000 vessels." The odds were not good. 3 against 10 was impossible for most militaries to overcome. But the Coalition had advantages the Council didn't understand. Dr. Park Hyon had made a crucial discovery in the ancient Council records. "Admiral, I found their secret. The Council's superweapon isn't just a weapon, it's a control system. They use it to force obedience from their member species." Engineer Choi Min looked up from his station. "If we can disable that system, their own ships might turn against them." Ambassador Yunbora had been working with Elder Morden and other Council dissidents. "Admiral, we have allies inside the enemy fleet. When the battle begins, some Council ships will switch sides." The battle began with Velther's fleet opening fire from extreme range. Their massive energy beams lit up space like artificial suns. But the Coalition fleet didn't meet them head-on. Instead, they used human tactics, speed, deception, and intelligence. Captain Lee Nari led mixed squadrons of human and alien fighters in hit-and-run attacks. All pilots remember the plan: strike fast, strike hard, then get out before they can target you. The Vex pilots proved to be as skilled as promised, dancing their ships through enemy fire like performers in a ballet. The Morak engineers had equipped Coalition ships with new weapons that could punch through Council shields. Commander Kim Tae coordinated the battle from his command post. "Phase 2, execute now?" Hidden Coalition ships that had been disguised as asteroids and debris suddenly activated around the Council fleet. The enemy found themselves surrounded and under attack from all directions. But the real turning point came when Engineer Choi Min activated his master plan. Using codes stolen from captured Council ships, he sent a shutdown signal to their control system. Across the enemy fleet, ships suddenly stopped obeying orders. Their weapons powered down, their engines went silent, and their communications systems broadcast a simple message: "We are free." Velther's voice screamed across all frequencies: "Impossible! The control system is unbreakable. It has maintained order for 50,000 years." Elder Morden's ancient voice answered him from one of the defecting ships: "All systems can be broken, Velther, just as all tyrannies eventually fall." The battle that was supposed to destroy the Coalition instead destroyed the Council's power. Forever, over half of their fleet switched sides when their crews realized they could choose freedom. The rest were either captured or fled to distant parts of the galaxy. Dr. Park Hyun's analysis of the battle was sobering. The control system affected billions of beings across thousands of worlds. Breaking it has freed species that have been enslaved for millennia. In the aftermath of victory, the Coalition faced a new challenge: building a better system to replace the one they had destroyed. Ambassador Yunbora worked with representatives from hundreds of species to create the Galactic Charter of Free Species. The new charter was simple but revolutionary. No species could be forced to join, no tribute would be demanded. All members had equal voice and decisions. Military action was only for defense, never conquest. Admiral Han Wu was offered the position of Supreme Commander of the new Galactic Federation, but he refused. Freedom means choice, he explained. No one person should have that much power over others. Instead, the Federation was led by a rotating council with representatives from every member species. Decisions were made by discussion and vote, not by force. Captain Lee Nari established the Federation Defense Force, a volunteer military made up of species who chose to serve together. "We'll never again let bullies terrorize the galaxy," she promised. Engineer Choi Min became head of the Technology Sharing Initiative, helping less advanced species develop their capabilities without exploitation. "Knowledge belongs to everyone," was his motto. Dr. Park Hyun led the Historical Truth Commission, documenting the real history of the galaxy and the crimes of the old council system. "We must remember the past so we never repeat it." Commander Kim Tae founded the Freedom Academy, where young beings from across the galaxy learned about democracy, rights, and the principles of free society. Years later, as Admiral Han Wu looked out at the thriving Federation headquarters, a space station built by dozens of species working together, he reflected on humanity's journey from a small blue planet to the catalyst of galactic freedom. The tribute system was gone forever, remembered only as a dark chapter in galactic history. In its place was something better, a civilization based on cooperation, respect, and the radical idea that all thinking beings deserve to be free. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy. Instead, they had given it the greatest gift possible, the chance to choose its own destiny. The bold response to tribute had indeed shaken the Galaxy Council so thoroughly that it had fallen apart and been replaced by something far better. And in the end, that was the most human thing of all, not just fighting for their own freedom, but ensuring that everyone else could be free too.